Hi, I'm Evan on the Only Empty Hands YouTube channel, where you can learn Kenpo Karate katas, techniques, and training. Also, you can learn about personal safety, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit more about today. Specifically, I'm going to talk about fraud. In law enforcement, I've investigated a lot of different times where people are reaching out to somebody, tricking them, throwing in a hook basically to get them to send money, and then somebody ends up sometimes out a lot of money or in a really bad situation. And so I actually wanted to share this because I grabbed my phone here. I had an experience last week where somebody tried to do exactly that to me. And so I thought that that would be a good context for me to talk about how you can avoid being taken advantage of. So I teach karate, obviously, not as a primary thing. I teach part-time and in private lessons and some of those kinds of things. And so I'm somewhat selective about who I teach, and I never teach anybody who wasn't referred to me somehow through somebody I know, because I don't advertise. So I received a text message. It was from an out-of-state number, and it said, "Hello, this is Butler. I will like to know if you are available for martial art training." So I read that, and there's part of it that was like, oh, that's interesting, that could be cool. Somebody's interested in learning. But I also noticed the language was a little different, and the phone number came from a different area code. So not necessarily red flags, but at the same time it was a little weird from the communication I usually receive. And so it kind of caught my interest a little bit as far as, could this be something fake? But at the same time I wanted to see if it was a person who was actually looking to train and looking for some help. So I responded to him, "Hi Butler, I do teach some students. What are you looking for?" And then he immediately went into talking about he'd like to book an appointment for his family, wants me to get back with him with the total estimate for 5 months of group training for 5 people. And again, that's a little unusual. Somebody I've never met who's asking me for kind of this big number and this big plan, but might be within the realm of possibility, right? So I'm kind of going along, and I felt, and this is something that you watch for when you're in these situations, I felt that natural emotion of something that I enjoy and am excited about, and somebody else being interested in it, or the possibility of making money, right? Those kinds of things that pull us along and make us want to believe that what we're hearing could be real and is going to be a great thing for us. And then as we went on, I started to ask him some questions. So I said, okay, who is everybody? What's their level of experience? What are you looking for? How did you find out about me? And the biggest red flag that came was, as I asked those questions, the person didn't answer them. He went on to talk about how he was looking for a way to figure out payment and all of this different stuff. And then just as we get here, I'm going to read you the hook at the end. So we went back and forth for about 5 days. And I kept pulling him back and trying to get him to give me specific information. I told him actually that I didn't give out my address when he asked for that to somebody unless I met them face to face. And he kind of avoided that question. So at this point, just based on my experience, I knew that it was fraudulent. I just was curious to see what it was he was going to do to try to get money out of me. And so here's the hook at the end, basically. He said, "Sound good. Before I send you my credit card information to process for the charges, I would need a little favor from you." Now the interesting thing is, I had told him I wasn't worried about the money and wasn't looking for money. What I wanted to know was who wanted to be taught, who these people were. So I kept coming back to that core principle of, hey, look, I teach martial arts. I'm not just here to try to get a bunch of money out of people. And he kept coming back to something that I hadn't asked him about, because he's assuming that greed is going to get me to give him what he wants. And so anyway, like I said, at this point I knew it was fraud, but I said, okay, what can I do for you? Because I wanted to see what he was going to ask. And he said, "The favor is, I haven't paid a driver that will pick up every one of them, and I can't do that myself because I'm presently receiving my hearing treatment at the hospital and am going to have surgery soon. The driver that will be picking them up don't have access to credit card facilities, so I will like you to include extra $2,100 plus the total cost for the service. So you will add $2,500 plus the $2,100 together, and you will run it on my card now, and once it clear to your account, I will give you the driver account where to deposit his funds. God bless you. So after that, I told him that this was fraud, and if he wanted to talk to me, he could meet me at the police department, which he never responded to. But here's the thing that I want you to get out of this. I've seen lots and lots of people get caught through inappropriate communications, pulled into pornography, and then told that they were sending messages with someone who was underage and they're going to get sued or taken to prison. I've seen people lose thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to persuasive bad investments that sounded like an amazing opportunity that you can get in on. This kind of thing, obviously he's trying to use a fraudulent credit card and get me to be greedy and take 5 months of advanced karate tuition, which is not how I do business, in addition to this extra money. And he's hoping that I'm not gonna look at that and say, wow, this seems like it might be shady, but just get caught up in the fact that I'm gonna get some extra money, but then I'm gonna charge a fraudulent credit card and it's somehow potentially gonna come back on me, or I'll charge it and pay, and then someone will come back after me for the money, and I've already given half of it away to that guy, and now I'm on the hook for the money, right? And you can ruin your life, you can go to jail, you can get in a ton of trouble through these things that these people are trying to get you to do. They're playing on our greed, our neediness, our desire to belong, our wanting to be cared for by someone, our sense of lust, right? Whatever it is, they're just broad message out to all kinds of people, hoping that they're gonna hook that one person who's going to give them what they want. And because of how phones and the computers and everything work nowadays, they can send these messages out to tons and tons of people, and they just gotta get one or two. So you don't be the one, be smart. If it sounds too good to be true, probably is, isn't always, right? But look into it, ask them some questions. Require that they do the things that normal people would do. Normal people don't just send thousands of dollars randomly to people. Normal people don't come and take karate from someone they've never met after just looking a little bit at maybe some videos that I think he may have watched on YouTube, but he may have lied about having done that even. But it's not normal to say, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna give you a few $1,000s right now, even though I've never come and met you, I've never been to your studio, I've never seen anything else. Here you go. That's just not how life works. And so when you're in those moments and you get all caught up in the emotion and think, wow, this is gonna be great for me, and it ends up being really bad for you if you follow those emotions, it was because you didn't listen to those warning signs, or you didn't take the time to confront the person, to ask them reasonable questions, to ask that they prove what they're doing. And so you can get yourself in a situation where you can really be hurt. So don't do that. Hopefully this helps you a little bit just to think and be a little more savvy if you come across these situations. Hope you have a great day.